Welcome back guys to another Cyberpunk video and to the probably best and ultimate last build you will ever have to make when you play this game. There is a perfect way to combine all the three playstyles, Netrunning, Sandevistan and Berserk in just a single build. No matter if you want to run around with guns and blazing, no matter if you want to hack your enemies to their death, or if you want to slice them into pieces, snipe them with some clean nice headshot, or play stealthy all the way, with this build you will never have to respec your character ever again. So this is the ultimate hybrid or perfect endgame build where you only have to change your operating system and basically nothing more than that to be completely op no matter which playstyle you actually prefer. And of course all this footage, including all the max tech skills, were recorded on very hard as usual. For this build we will only use the best of the best weapons and the best of the best cyberware, which will largely be the same for all playstyles anyway. And you won't even have any sacrifices compared to a more specialized build. This build will deal the same damage than any perfect blade, perfect netrunner or even perfect Sandevistan build. We've also broken the game to the point where you can have infinite duration for any Cyberware OS. Of course, most of you know that you can have infinite duration for Sandevistan because you can simply activate it whenever you want to without having to wait for the cooldown, so you can activate it at even 50% charge state, then simply deactivate it, run to the next enemy, activate, deactivate. You can literally do that forever. But you can also do the same with Berserk, which is even better because Berserk will make you infinitely invincible. If you equip the axolotl in your cyberware, which is a mandatory item anyway, every kill you make during Berserk will further extend the Berserk duration, which will literally make you infinitely invincible. And it is secretly the strongest build of all. However, netrunning is of course op too, as long as you have infinite overclock, blood demon and data recycler active. Every kill you make with these three perks active will give you 200 health and infinitely refill all your RAM. And when you use Synapse Burnout, you will also infinitely prolong your overclock effect. So no matter how you want to play, this build will cover all your needs and make you op anyway. You can either run around with your Sandevistan and one-shot everyone during slow-mo, which I really love to do, especially when I equip a shotgun and the Raiju tech gun, which shoots just as fast during Sandevistan as without Sandevistan, or I simply slow down time when I aim with my sniper rifle to make my enemies completely immovable targets. When using Berserk, your gameplay actually gets much more simple. You simply equip the fastest hitting blade in the game and hack and slash your enemies as quickly as possible, or even use your gorilla arms to do the same. Your Berserk will stay active and protect you literally forever as long as you kill enough enemies quickly enough. Using the correct Berserk mod will also allow you to still use the reflex tuner, which will literally activate every 4 to 5 seconds. That means you will have basically Sandevistan and Berserk active at the same time, which makes it such an incredibly op combo. And when you decide to go for netrunning with this build, simply activate your overclock and spam Synapse Burnout to every target around you. It actually doesn't matter how you kill your enemies. You can kill them with the quick hack or you can kill them with any other weapon. You will still collect all the health and RAM bonuses and also prolong your overclock. This allows you to combine your netrunning skills with blades, with shotguns or any other weapon type you like. And the reflex tuner and the netrunner focus will also help you to slow down time whenever you need to. No matter what you want to do in Cyberpunk 2077. This build allows you to do everything in every playstyle and no respec will be ever needed when you decide to change your playstyle. But now let's finally check out the build. Of course the weapons are depending on your playstyle. If you play with a netrunner setup, then you should definitely go for the Yinglong and equip a blade as a second option to quickly kill max stacks and other tanky soldiers. Since we are not using Sandevistan, the Byakko will be your best option for it. It is always best to equip a helmet that reduces enemies' quick hack upload speed and a headset that increases your own upload speed. The smart link will be needed to enable the Yinglong's auto lock-on features, and the best netrunning OS to use is of course the Rippler Mark V, as it gives you multiple bonuses, especially when you upload your quick hacks in the right order. You should of course go for Synapse Burnout, System Collapse, Short Circuits, Cyberware Malfunction, Cripple Movement and Ping. If you equip Synapse Burnout in your last slot, you will make sure that it is the first in your list. For a Sandevistan oriented build, it would actually make sure to use a very strong one-shot weapon. In my opinion, the best for that is a Sovereign shotgun. Then of course go for Scalpel, which is the best blade you can use when you have Sandevistan, which gives you 50% crit chance for free, and then the Sparky as a long range option. If you don't like to play with blades, you can of course also equip the Raiju as a mid-range option. The Raiju's bullets are shooting so fast that they are not even slowed down during Sandevistan. Equipping the Micro Generator will add over 300 electro damage after every reload, which mainly helps the weapons which reload after every shot, such as the Sovereign, and our operating system of course will be the Militech Apogee Sandevistan. The best blade options to use together with Berserk are the Byakko and the Errata, and of course also don't forget the Tinkerbell. The Tinkerbell is the strongest melee weapon because it deals an incredible amount of electro damage. The best Berserk you can use is the Biodyne Berserk Mark V because it allows your health to drop to 25% before it makes you invincible, so that you can trigger the reflex tuner every time. And of course the Gorilla Arms with electro damage will be the best option for your arm slot. You can almost use exactly the same cyberware no matter which operating system you actually use. Everything that is inside of this box is the optimal core cyberware that should never be changed. There's rarely an option that is worth trying out other than these items. So when you are switching between Netrunning, Sandevistan and Berserk, you mainly only switch anything that is in your frontal cortex, your operating system, your eyes and your arms. You don't have to change anything else. The Netrunner specific items would be the Tetratronic Rippler Mark V, Axolotl, Cox2 Cybersomatic Optimizer, Camillo RAM Manager, the normal Kiroshi optics and a Smart Link in your arms. If you're using Sandevistan, you should go for the Militech Apogee Sandevistan, the Axolotl in your frontal cortex, the Kiroshi Cockatrice optics to increase your crit chance and the Micro Generator to improve your one-shot weapons. The best Berserk options would be to use the Biodyne Berserk together with the Axolotl, the Kiroshi Cockatrice optics and an additional pain editor in your integumentary system. Anything else will be the same for all playstyles. You should use the Gorilla Arms with electric damage to get the most out of your arms, the Skeleton, Parabellum and Bionic joints to increase your armor as much as possible, get the Stabber to increase your crit chance with your blades, a normal reflex tuner will be fine, then subdermal armor, Carapace, and of course the Berserk option would be to use the pain editor. If you don't have the capacity, then simply let it free. Don't forget the tendons for your double jump, then go for second heart, blood pump and biomonitor to get auto healing and resurrection on death. No matter what operating system you use, the Axolotl will have one of the biggest impacts in your build and it is the absolute must-have item. It will reset the reflex tuner, it resets the second heart and it will also help your operating systems to stay active. The auto healing will always trigger at 35% health and the reflex tuner will always trigger at 25% health, and all that will give you more time to make more kills no matter if you use Berserk, Sandevistan or even the Netrunner OS. This is the most synergetic way to use your cyberware no matter which operating system you use. Even if the reflex tuner doesn't support you directly, it will always give you more time to achieve your goals and kill your enemies, even if you don't have Sandevistan equipped. To achieve this awesome build diversity, we will go for an all 15 Tech 20 build. This allows you to get every ability in the game and the maximum amount of cyberware. If you're using the perk points glitch, you can simply go and max out every skill tree with over 220 points. But in case this is getting patched or if you want to make a legit build, you should use the following perks. In the body skill tree, it is mandatory that you get all the center perks, which means all the ones at the bottom and also all the adrenaline stuff. All these perks will increase your healing abilities and your health regeneration, which is mandatory for almost every playstyle. The Adrenaline Health Shield will also be automatically added whenever your blood pump is activated. One of the best other options here in the body tree is to go for shotgun skills. Whenever you have obliteration and dismember an enemy, you will also trigger adrenaline automatically. However, you can also just remove all of this and go for the right side tree, which will be for a melee weapon, and the best melee ability you can use is of course the Quake, which will also refill health for every enemy you hit with it. But any of these left or right trees in the body skill tree are just optional and are depending on the weapons you use. In the reflex tree there's actually nothing mandatory except for Slippery, which you should always grab. When you decide that you want to play with blades, you should pick up all the skills on the right tree. You should go for Dash, Lead and Steal and everything that leads to Flash and Thunderclap, which is one of your main abilities, and of course everything that improves your finishers. Optionally, you can of course also go for Bullet Time and Air Dash if you like to use that. If you want to play with assault rifles or SMGs, you can of course also go for the left tree. However, the most useful skills are definitely the blade skills, but nothing under reflex is really mandatory, especially if you don't use any of these weapons. Tech is a whole different story because it has a lot of mandatory stuff since Tech always boosts our cyberware. You should definitely go for all things cyber, license to Chrome and the Edge Runners perk to increase your cyberware capacity to its maximum, and also in the left tree you should go for all the healing abilities and Pyromaniac and everything that increases or improves your healing items. The only real optional perks here are the ones for the tech weapons, which you only really have to use if you play with tech weapons of course. The whole intelligence tree is completely optional, you only have to get it when you play with Netrunning, so you can of course remove all the perk points and put them in other weapon trees, and you can of course also remove the attribute points, put them in body and reflex instead. But since Netrunning is not possible without having intelligence 15 and the overclock perk, it is not recommended to remove these attribute points. The must-have perks are of course Optimization, Proximate Propagation, Embedded Exploit and the Overclock perk. Sublimation and Blood Demon are the perks which give you all your health. The left tree will give you a lot of RAM cost reduction, improve your queuing skills, and of course the Data Recycler is mandatory to get back all your RAM which was not needed and executed. Under cool, we also only have a few basic perks, which is Feline Footwork, which will increase your movement speed, Killer Instinct, which will increase all your out of combat damage, and Quick Getaway. If you want to play with revolvers, sniper rifles or pistols, definitely go for Focus and Deadeye. Focus will completely eliminate all the stamina cost as long as it is active, and Deadeye will improve your headshot damage, and Deep Breath will even add additional slow time. You can of course also go for Ninjutsu to get more mitigation chance, and if you ever want to play with throwing weapons or throwing knives, you definitely have to go for the right tree and get the Juggler perk. This will make your knives immediately return back to you. But all of these weapon related stuff is optional and depends on the weapons you want to use. Only the stuff in body and tech is really mandatory. The relic skill tree is also completely optional and it is not needed to improve your build. If at all, go for the Mantis Blades and Gorilla Arms improvements. I hope you liked this video. This is the ideal blueprint of a perfect endgame build that can do everything for you in Cyberpunk 2077. And of course, please don't forget to subscribe, leave me a like and see you next time.